What's pop-a-locking, you beautiful, beautiful people? Your boy, the Vaslap, is in the building. I'm going for a haircut today. Don't worry about that. We'll trim it up. Gonna keep it long, though. Just make it less thick. And less, I don't know, something. Just a little cut. That's all it is. Anyway, enough about my personal grooming. It is time for a transfer special. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think it's going to be a very big transfer special. In fact, I don't think I'm actually in the market to buy anyone, but we will be selling players. Anyway, with all that said and done, hit like, subscribe, tell your parents, grandparents, lovers, haters, everyone in between and elsewhere. Let's get into a transfer special. Here we are on the 2nd of June. We're still about a month away from the transfer window opening. I'm open on this page because I want to show you the team that is probably going to start next season. As it is, in my opinion, a good team. Carrier will continue in goals. Koistra, Macy's, Gui, Cesar, Villar, Bustin, O'Shaughnessy, Bibi, Iñaki, and Alan Carr. That's the first team 11 that I've mapped out. There is a few players on this sort of list here that we will look at maybe moving on and keeping aside. We will go through that in depth right now. In fact, if we open up this tab and then we can just put the filters on. There we go. And we'll just select defenders for now. I've got to unclick everything apparently. Defenders. We'll start with defenders. We'll start with central defenders. These are all the players that we currently have in our first team squad. We've got a team of 40. But I have brought up a lot of under-19s players. Anyone that's 18 and above, I've brought into the squad with a looking at maybe selling them on or moving them on or whatever the case may be. We'll get to each and single one of them. I mean, for the defenders, Koistra, Macy's, and Gui will be the top three. Macy's impressed me last season with a little bit of games that he had. Brought him in the transfer season in January for 11.25, already valued at 52 million. Peruvian international, 18 years of age. He is just getting better and better and better to the point where I do think he's a little bit better than Lombardi, who is declining a little bit, especially in the physicals very quickly. With national fitness of 16 is a bit scary. His stamina was at 15 when we signed him. His balance as well, so that's declining quite a bit. And in terms of his marking and his passing and his technique, they're also declining quite a little bit. So if I can cash in on him, we did spend 25 million to get him from Swansea. I mean, if I can get about 30 million for him, I'll probably take it. He is currently wanted as well by Villarreal and Lyon. So if there is a world where he goes, that means we'll probably bring in someone else. Daniel Ortega is our backup on that right-hand side. He is Koistra's understudy on that right-hand side. Still developing, is 19 years of old. There is a world that if I do find someone that's better than Koistra, we can bring him in and then, you know, put Ortega as on loan. But I don't think we'll find anyone better than Koistra or Gui at the moment on the left and right-hand side, respectively. I think they're pretty much locked in there. In terms of the left-hand side, when it comes to defenders, I don't really have anyone who can play on the left-hand side. He's the only one, is Hans Kuter, who, I mean, he's 18 years old. I'd like to find him alone next season and go out on loan. He was playing at Union Berlin, 34 games. Union Berlin 2, rather. I'd rather get him alone elsewhere. Otherwise, Dominic Kalzer played as a central midfielder, so not really considering him as a midfielder defender. We'll talk about him a bit later. Hassan Foley went on loan to La Liga side Almera. 14 games for them. Didn't have the best of ratings. 6.57 on his side. So he might be someone we're looking at shipping off this season. And the same, unfortunately, for Michael Muritz, who also spent a lot more time in La Liga for Mallorca, having played over 14 games for them, 14 starts at least. 12 substitute appearances. I just don't think the Dane is as good as he should be, and I feel like it is maybe time we do cash in on him. We are going to make a little bit of a loss on him, if I'm not mistaken. I think we put him for 4.3 million. Yeah, I don't think we'll get that back from him. And then a couple of other players on the fringe here. Raul Saha, 21-year-old Northern Irishman. Didn't develop as much as I hoped. Played a couple of games, a handful of games, really, last season. We'll try to ship him off again. I probably won't make that 2.6 million, although we can try. And then lastly, Gabriel Rivi. Tried and tried and tried to give him that opportunity. Bought him for 2 million from Sassuolo. I don't think I'll get that 2 million. He just hasn't developed as well as I'd hoped he developed. So definitely a backup defender is on the cards. Maybe even two if Lombardi leaves, because there's a few of them moving on. In terms of the wing-backs, though, and I mean, let's face it, wing-backs, we should be good. Left-hand side, we've got Villar and we've got Kikidakis. I also have this guy in Mirayas Baigailev as a backup option, who, if given game time, I think he can still develop. We'll definitely look to get him a loan move if I decide to sell Kikidakis, who's obviously my natural backup. Ignore BB as a left back. That's, I don't know why he's there. But I think it is time we cash in a little bit on Kikidakis. He's been an absolute legend for the club, in my opinion. I mean, what's that? 42, 59, 69 games for the club. 1.2 million is what we spent him from Offi. Never put in a bad performance. Last season, of course, did slow down a little bit more because of Diego Villar, who won player of the season in the Bundesliga, won player of the season in the Champions League, and one young player of the season in the Champions League as well. In fact, the entire back four dream team was our team. It was Villar on the right, Villar on the left, Cesar on the right, Koistra and Gui in the midfield, in the defense, the center two. And this man is just so good. Valued at 68 million. He got his first cap for Argentina. Bought him for 11.25 from San Lorenzo, who seem to produce a lot of good South Americans. Might bring in one or two more from there. I will be scouting them. But this man is just so good. And yeah, I think there is a world where Miraj Begliev does stay if I do sell Kikidakis. And then over on the right-hand side, a little bit more problematic as we don't have too much depth on that side. We've got Cesar, who my scouts are still claiming he is not that good, even though he is in the dream team for the Bundesliga and Champions League. The fact that he scored 3 goals, 5 assists in the Champions League, 12 assists in the Bundesliga, this man is just too good to not be a first-teamer. And, I mean, his understudy in Sitkowski is just as good, in my opinion. If he gets the same amount of game time as Cesar, I think he could actually become better. But I don't want to drop Cesar, and then we have no one else on that wing-back side. Maybe that's an option that we can have a look at when it comes to bringing in players. Central midfield, though, is where we have abundance of players. A lot of players that can play in position. We'll talk about the first two. Arne Busten, absolutely fantastic this season. He has been absolutely fantastic. Don't want to get rid of him. He will stay, with his understudy being Sven Rau. He's been getting more and more game time. There is a world where Sven becomes a regular starter. Got his first cap for Germany as well a couple of weeks ago. And there is a world where he could start ahead of Busten. The two of them will be jostling for that position. On the other side, Daniel O'Shaughnessy has a lot of interest from him, from the likes of Man United, Newcastle, and Bayern Munich. Has that £80 million release clause. Can't get him to sign a new contract. So if he does go, I will probably sign Hitsamo Yuge on a permanent deal. I think he is actually very, very good. He still wants to play as a striker. That's the only issue that we have with him, and it does upset him a little bit. But as a midfielder, as a central midfielder, he has everything that we want him to be as that attacking midfielder in that situation. Can't be very defensive, though. That's the only problem. And then we do have Dominic Kaiser, who can also slot into that O'Shaughnessy role if need be, with a jumping reach of 20. Makes me a little bit happier. And then I do have a few other players that could also slot in there. Tim Specht is another one who has the physicals, just doesn't have anything else. So chances are I'll probably sell him off. Alexis Cal is another one. We tried to make him into that central midfielder. Initially bought him as a left winger, and then rotated into a central midfielder. I'll probably look to try and cash in on him. And then last one is a youngster in Carroll. Yaroski. I don't know why I said that wrong. Here's someone I'm going to try and get a loan move for him and get him out there to just play a little bit of regular football for us. Did land up playing 2 games for us, the last 2 games of the season, just to try and get him some game time. Then we move to the wing positions. Of course, the attacking midfielders on the left-hand side and right-hand side. Over on the left-hand side, we have quite a few players that could all slot in there. Obviously, Iñaki and Arnold will be the first 2. Those 2 will be jostling for their positions. I'm leaning more towards Arnold being the first choice. I think there's a lot more potential in him than Iñaki. Inage is someone that I'd love to keep on, but just every time I've played him in my team, he's never performed well. And he's a good power sub, but I just don't have space for him. So maybe cash in on that 57 million for him. The same with Yevtek. I like the looks of his physicals. Everything else is just not going great. He didn't develop well enough over at Igman in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So if I can maybe secure him a loan more locally, maybe in the Bundesliga 2, where he can get more competitive football, I think it'll be a positive for him. And then the other one that we're going to talk about is Jose Luis Andrade. Is the striker, can play on the left. Definitely looking at getting him a proper loan deal this season to go really have a at it. Over on the right-hand side, a little bit less crammed, let's put it like that. We've got Bibi and Michael. Those 2 will definitely be the starting 2. Michael developing absolutely fine. Ignore the drop-down arrows. It's off-season now. But he is definitely one going to step up and probably take over Bibi's position. Maybe not this season, maybe next season, somewhere around there. And then in the terms of the other study, Olivier Genieux, we know all about him. Played really well. Went on loan to La Liga. Didn't play well. We'll look to sell him on. And the same can be said for Mahet Kara here, 21 years old. Hasn't developed as well as we hoped. Went to Auckland FC this season. That's when you know you've dropped down a little bit, with no disregard to Auckland FC. And then Carol and Inage are the other understudies that we have in the squad. And then in terms of attackers, strikers, when we're talking strikers, we're talking about 2 men in particular. Alan Carr, absolutely brilliant. Love everything about this man. Criminal that he hasn't had a cap for Brazil yet. Valued at 65 to 71 million. 7 goals in the Champions League. 15 goals for us in the Bundesliga. Paid 34 million from him from Internacional in Brazil. And then Dario Zanotti. Not as prolific as a goal scorer, but definitely a good option to have coming off the bench. I like the looks of him. Hopefully he can get more game time. We do have a few others in the wings. Lucas Mazzari was one of those players that I had hyped up quite a bit in his first season. Played 7 games for us. We decided to send him on loan in January. Went to Primera national team in Bainfield. Scored 3 goals for them. Maybe not ideal development, but can definitely get a little bit better. If anything, we can maybe sell him off for a profit. And then we do have 2 other players we're going to talk about. Bruno Gallic came through our youth system. Hasn't developed as well. I'm probably going to send him one more time out on loan, not to a Croatian side. I think he'll have to go to a good competitive side. And the same for this Croatian, Jakov Stutz. I think if he can develop, he could potentially become a fantastic little Croatian striker for us. There is a world where I keep Mazzari, Zanotti, and Alan Carr as the 3 main strikers. That's a quick breakdown of the entire squad. We're going to fast forward all the way to the 1st of July when the transfer window happens. All the loanees come back. Everything is popping and off. We'll see you guys on the 1st. It'll be an instant for you guys. Right, guys, it is back. It is the 2nd of July. We've got some big news. We'll start off with the biggest of the news. Bayer Leverkusen have made a £48 million offer for Guy. There is a little bit of a problem with this one. I'm going to reject it. Guy has a £49 million release clause. I've tried offering him a new contract, and I get this. Because he's shown interest elsewhere. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because I don't think that makes sense. We just won the Champions League, and you don't want to stay because you don't want to sign a new contract because there's potential transfers elsewhere. So in light of that, I mean, we have a look here. There is a lot of clubs that are interested in him. Manchester United are one of them. Aston Villa, Newcastle are looking to generate funds. Bayer Leverkusen have generated funds. It's not enough. I'm going to reject that offer. They need to break the release clause. They need to trigger it 100%. I've got a couple of offers, loan offers coming in for Kaiser. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to loan him. I kind of just want to sell him off. I don't think a loan is necessary. Other offers, Thomas Geyer going for £475,000 to Hoffenheim over a couple of installments and stuff. And then Koska Adar on loan, our 18-year-old Turkish winger on the right-hand side. Probably will never feature in the club at all. And then we have had one official departure from the club. We can just go to transfer history. And that's Jan Inage has officially left the club. He had an option to sign permanently for Hoffenheim, where he spent on loan last season. And yeah, £52 million was a no-brainer for us. He played very well for them. We got £72,000 for the loan, plus then £52 million. Absolutely fantastic, which does mean our club finances are looking absolutely healthy. £167 million in the bank. We are a little bit over the wages. I gave a couple of new contracts to some players. I think Bushten was one of them. Arnold was another one. And I think I want to say Questra. I can't remember the other one. But there is another one that we did sign a new contract. Our transfer budget has gone up to 104 million after that selling of Inage. We are going to just adjust the wage budget a little bit, just so we're not in the negative. We have £68,000 there, 99.25 million to spend. Probably with Guy, I'm going to just leave him in the squad as it stands because obviously I want to keep him, and I will keep trying to sign him a new contract. The other thing is Uge has left the club. I tried to make an offer. He rejected the contract, stating he was unhappy at the club. So we're definitely going to look at bringing in a backup midfielder. Another potential left back. We might need two left-footed centre backs, which could become a problem. And then I've got all these players to either sell or loan out. Give me a moment. We've got to go through all this list. There's a few other stuff that we just need to go through. Once we have a little bit more clarity in what's happening, selling off some players, bringing in some players, I'm going to go scout some central midfielders because obviously we need to replace Uge, potentially replace Gui, might even have to replace O'Shaughnessy as well because there is interest in him. And like I said, O'Shaughnessy does have that release clause of 80 million, which, I mean, if I can get 80 million for him, I'll be very, very happy. Speaking of which, does anyone else have a release clause? Where do I check release clauses? Release clauses? No one? No? Custom views? Copy of contract? There we go. Minimum release clause. Let's see. So O'Shaughnessy has an 80 million. Carrier has a 65 million. We need to change that. Questra has a 60 million. I need to change. It wasn't Questra that got the extra one. Andrade has a 600,000 one, which I need to change. Bigelow has 4.6 million. That one we need to change. Silva, I mean, he can go. Questra, do you want to sign a new contract? Let's get rid of that. What are you interested in? Win a domestic cup next season? I mean, we could possibly do that. I mean, yeah, let's do that. Questra can get a new contract. We'll give you the new contract. Only 45,000. Sure. Win a domestic cup. If we don't, we sell him. That's the end of the show anyway. No 10%. Sell on percentage fee is fine. Everything else is fine. I'm happy with that. 49,000 is not a bad offer. And Carrier, can you sign a new contract without a release clause? He wants £100,000 a week. Can we drop it to 92? I don't know if it's... The thing is, if it goes to 100,000, he'll be my most expensive player. And the problem is with this, if he goes up to 100,000, players like Alan Carr, BB, O'Shaughnessy, and probably Bushten and Olivia could also be possibly... Lombardi will definitely want to be top earner as well. And that could become a little bit of a problem. 65 million for a goalkeeper isn't bad. He is a damn good goalkeeper for us. I mean, 10 clean sheets in 32 games. Don't really want to get rid of him. So we'll see. If an offer comes in, maybe then we'll look at potentially selling him off. I don't really want to sell him off. But if we come to a situation where we need to sell him off, I think I will have to. Cesar is also wanted by a Saudi team, by the way. They're reluctant to make an offer while the asking price is too high. Can you believe it that they think 19.5 million evaluation is too high for Cesar? Elsewhere, Shaughnessy, we've spoken about them. Man United and Newcastle still in it. Sudkowski is interested. Kikidakis, I might look at selling off. He is only wanted on loan. Leipzig want Michael. Napoli wants Zanotti. And then a couple of other clubs want some other players. Let's see what we can do. Transfer some money. Let's see what we can do. Well, guys, we knew this day was going to come. There is an offer for Vasilis Kikidakis. It is a loan with an optional fee of 3.3 million. We won't be making about 3.7 million over the course of the season. I think I have to let this one go. I think I do. I'm going to accept the offer. I feel like it is time for him to go. With that being said, though, I think I have found his replacement, so to speak. It is a young German left-back winger, Justus Schumacher, who I think is actually very, very good from Wolfsburg. Only going to cost 3.9 million. I don't think he's as good as Villar, but I do think between him and Kikidakis, I've got to say that he's probably better than Kikidakis. I think he could be a decent little pickup. I'm going to just hold up a little bit on that one. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do it. Because either way, Kikidakis is going to be out the clause. He is a minimum release clause of 3.9 million. We're going to just put that straight in there. We've got the money. That could be our first signing of the season. Justus Schumacher, German international, to play as the understudy for Villar. Talking of players that we have found, it's only been 1 day since we got that news of the transfer weekend open. I have done some potential bringing in of players on loan lists. There is one or two that are not interested, but we're going to talk about them. First one is I might have found a replacement for Giwi. Issa Kessia, 23-year-old Ivory Coast international, plays for Real Madrid, 53 to 72 million. He is very, very good. Not as tall as Giwi, which I don't like. But a jumping reach of 7 and a head ring of 15 is not a bad little thing to have. Only issue is he wants £92,000 a week, and he probably wants over 100,000 if he does join me. The other player that I have found that could potentially be a backup centre-back, maybe potentially being a full-time centre-back, is Marco Abinjinski here, 39 to 55 million. We could break that down in installments. I'm actually going to scout him as well, get a bit of proper recruitment on him. He is another option when it comes to the centre-back options. And then we've got the third choice in Kari Fanar Realeases. Not naturally a left-footed player, but he can easily slot in there. He is nice and tall. Only issue is that his tackling and his technique aren't great, especially if we want to play as a ball-playing centre-back, is what we play as. Does lack there a little bit. 46 caps for Iceland, by the way. Finishing at 23 years of age. A few other players we have just been scouting, having a look at, potentially bringing in. I'll just switch it to transfer or doubtful. That way you can see players that might want to come to us. In terms of goalkeepers, if Silva leaves, this man will be the natural replacement. Carlos Renato, he is a good enough backup goalkeeper for us. 19-year-old Brazilian. He is someone I've been looking at. John Valen, once upon a time, the top 5 next-gen top 50, was once valued at over £100 million. He's now only 33 million. Not a bad right winger if Michael or BB leave the club. And then in terms of maybe a O'Shaughnessy replacement, if he does go, Tepai Koga is a very, very good option. Although he is not my first option, neither is Justino Villas-Boas Rica, who I do like the looks of. In fact, scored a goal against me this season. That's kind of how I spotted him. I do like the looks of him, a little bit nicer. But I think in terms of players that I do want as a replacement is going to be this man, Vince Gino Hinderlink. at 19 years old, can play defensive midfielder, can sort of play attacking midfielder. I'm going to scout him a little. I thought I had scouted him, but I think in terms of just being the proper O'Shaughnessy replacement, I think he could be the one to really take that step up and make in something. If anything, he could just be coming in as a backup to replace Uge as well. He is, and maybe get some game time. Is there an option he goes through? I don't know. And then I do have one on the yes list that I do desperately want. Is he not there yet? Oh, he's not available anymore. It is Andre Barr. He is very, very good. A right winger. If Cesar leaves, this is the man I'm going to bring in to replace Cesar. I think he's very, very good. Doesn't want to come to my club at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. We'll come back with some news, guys. Right, guys, we're back a couple of days later, or a day later. We've got 4 offers on some of our players. Mohit Kama, 575,000. We'll accept that. Kowalski, a loan till the end of the season to Saarbrücken in Bundesliga 2. There's no fee involved, which annoys. 40% buyback fee. What a potential sale? What is it? Fee of 190. Oh, it's a straight up buying for Sherrard. I'm looking at the wrong person. Yeah, they can buy Sherrard, Schalke. They've been trying to buy him for a while. I have made that offer. Jaworski is who I'm looking at. There we go. No fee. I was going to say there was no fee. I'm not going to accept that. I kind of want a fee. Andrade, no fee as well. Not playing in great city clubs. And you also as well. Nothing great. I came back for no reason whatsoever. 13 other players don't have any offers for them. We'll keep trying to get some of these players out of the club. Slowly but surely, we will do it. We get some money for Tinik. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we'll carry on, though. Right, ladies and gents, we have made our first signing. Justice Schumacher is in the team. I don't want to choose squad numbers for him. I wanted to just put him straight into the team and register him, and that's what I wanted to do. He's also homegrown, which is nice. That's good for the Champions League, especially. So, yeah, he is going to join in on the club, and he's going to go straight onto the bench to replace Kikidakis. We are still looking at other options, just waiting for scout reports to come in. I'm going to keep trying offering these guys out. I might even start looking at potentially bringing in some intermediates to try and sell some of these oaks off, because we really are struggling at the moment. Right, ladies and gents, we've got some interesting news. Napoli are in for Dario Zanotti. Kind of one. I mean, 4.1 million is not near enough. I'm going to take that buyback. I'm going to leave that buyback clause in there. I'll take that out. They got to give me 5 million up front. And then let's go 2.5 million in installments. I'll take the 7.5 for Zanotti. Paid 6.5 for him. What do they say? They reduced it down to 2.1, 2.1. Buyback of 47.5. They've added percentage up to 40%. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. How about 4.5 and let's go 3 million. Well, let's go 2.8. So it's a bit less than what we had initially. They'll take that. I'll take that offer. Zanotti was a great little signing. He did play well for us in the few games he played. He played last season 10 games, scoring 2, 1 assist for Huracan, 3 goals, 9 assists. I feel like he could be good, but I feel like Alan Carr is probably just a little bit better. We do have Mazzari who can play there as well. We also have a lot more offers for Kikidakis, some potential transfers for Kikidakis, as well as Muritz, a couple of offers in for him. Let's have a look at the Kikidakis offers. We'll start off with him. So we do have that season option of Mallorca. Kian offering us 3.9, 1.9 up front, 3.9. Legana is 3.7. I'll accept that. These 2.4 straight up. You know what? I'm just going to accept all of them. He can choose. I don't expect to get much money out of him. Moritz 1 or 1.6. Well, we'll take 1.6. We'll reject 1 million. And then what I will do is I'll offer him out again for about 3 million. Let's go 3 million. see if anyone can give me close to the valuation I want. Geyser could also be on his way out. Leipzig have come in with an offer as well. So everything's really starting to move on a bit more. 10 players didn't get any response. We'll keep trying there. If we hire, we can start. I'm going to go through this list and start hiring intermediates because I kind of do want to sell those players off as quickly as possible. And then we just signed a new coach as well. So let's try and sell these players. Let's see what happens. Right, ladies and gents, we have some news. Zanotti is out of the building. 8.25 million. We'll take that. And Kikidakis decided to go on loan to Mallorca instead of moving to a permanent club with an optional fee of 3.3 million. Hopefully he takes that. It does mean now the squad is starting to slim down a little bit. We still have a lot of these players. You can see lots and lots of bids across the board for some of these players. It does mean Mazzari, who was... when does he come back from loan? In December. Right, that means we're going to need a backup striker. Yeah. I mean, I do have Stutz who needs to develop. We had Gallic, who we are currently selling. Yeah, we need a striker. I should have seen that. I didn't realize that. All right. We're in the market for a striker, and I know just the man that I'm going to try and bring in. Hopefully, where if I go to the right place, he wants to come to me. 14 million. I think he could be the one. He's German. He's good. I'm going to place the 14 point. It's got a release clause of 24.5. I'm going to start at 14.25. What do you suggest? I mean, I'll take that. Take that out. I'll give you, in fact, 19 million without that. I'll take that. Here we go. We've got 19 million. I'll take that any day of the week. And if I can get him in, that would be absolutely fantastic. I am still umming and ahhing whether I want to bring in the defender from Leipzig as well, actually. Marco Abesinczynski. Thing is, if he comes in, he won't be a backup. But if he comes in, he won't be starting ahead of Gui. So I'll only probably sign him if we sell Gui, which at the moment I don't think is going to happen as of yet. There's not real interest in him going. I keep getting that offer, oh, we want to sell him, and no one really sells him. This man was another option for striker, by the way, Uche Akapan, to bring him on loan, but I've decided against it. At 23 years old, I think he is pretty much done and dusted. Yeah. I think we're just going to have to play this one by ear for the Abashinsky one. He is unhappy. He wants a new contract. He is a bit of expensive signing, but we'll see how that goes. I've got to register now my players for the Bundesliga. Everybody is registered that should be registered, so we're happy with that one. Cool. Registration doesn't close. They've accepted the offer. They want to loan him back. We're not going to loan him back. We want him in our squad. So reject the loan back. How much does he want? Between 17 and 22.5. We can do that. As long as there's no relegation release clause, I'm happy with that. We'll take out the yearly wage increase. I can even increase you to that amount at some point. They happy with that. We're happy with that. That is a good contract. Also in other news, Zanotti has officially left the club. Get some money from him. We're doing well, guys. We're doing well. I need to keep looking for that centre-back option as a backup option firstly. And then if Gui does leave, then we have to go permanently, obviously, look for something there. But in terms of the starting 11, I mean, that is looking pretty good. In terms of the backup, obviously just another left back at the moment and another midfielder. We're hopefully getting in the striker. And then maybe one or two other players just to round up the squad. Kikidakis is now officially gone to the under-19. So will Mazzari. Actually, we don't need to keep him. And, he can come back in December. We have a few other players that we might be looking at moving on. In fact, all these players I need to actually move on. We need to bring in a couple other players as well, I think. Is there a world where I keep Bagliev now? I did bring in Schumacher. Bagliev maybe as a second option, third option. I think that is an option there. The rest, honestly, I don't really see. Maybe Karwaski. can be in and around the first team as well. He has had a handful of games. Reeve is someone that we're struggling to actually get a sell on him. So that might be something interesting to go. I think Jetevic Kaiser also struggling. Spicht struggling. Coulter struggling. Yeah. We need to do something. Coulter, is he one of those? No, he's not one of those on keep. All right. We'll carry on. Carrying on. Well, folks, I've decided to end off the transfer special here. We're going to do a part 2 tomorrow. That's right. I've recorded about 2 hours worth of stuff. I'm going to edit it down. I've edited this one down. Probably the next one will be a bit longer, maybe a bit shorter. I don't know. I want to make it 2. Only 2 parts, so you got 2 parts to deal with. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, tell your parents, grandparents, lovers, and them haters. Join in on the fun that is the Victory Challenge. We'll see you guys then. Peace. Chicken grease.